And if I could speak with my mother now, what would I say in return? If I track further back into that same memory, to just a few seconds earlier, the truth is there for me alone to see. Now at the cliff edge, I see two children. They're not identical in size and stature, but they're both dressed in bright blue anoraks to match their parents, the smaller with his hood tightly fastened beneath a chubby chin, the bigger one hood down, oblivious to the sting of the icy rain. "Mine!" the smaller one says, unsuccessfully snatching at a lemon sucker held loosely between the older child's dripping fingers. This goes on for a while, and on reflection, I think that perhaps the sweet did belong to the younger child, because eventually it is snatched away, and I recall the sense that it wasn't mine to covet in the first place. But that is not the point, because it wasn't the taking of the sweet that was so wrong, but the boastful, taunting manner of it. "No!" is the cry I hear, and I know it comes from me, because even now I feel the rage rear up inside me as that hooded child makes a great pouting show of shedding the wrapper and popping the yellow lozenge into its selfish hole of a mouth, its bragging form swaying in a small victory dance at the slippery cliff edge. The tremor of my cry is still vibrating in my ears as I bring the weight of my balled fist into the soft dough of that child's cheek, and see the lemon sucker shoot from between rosy lips like a bullet. "No!" I shout again, and this time the sound seems to come from far, far away. Seconds later, he's gone, and I know he's plummeting, falling past the heather-cloaked rocks and snaggly outcrops that make up this great mountainous piece of land. I know it is a death drop. I know it is a long way down. I can't say I remember pushing him, but neither can I remember not pushing him. So you see, I'm not to blame at all. From what I recall of that other child, my brother, he was a snatcher, a tittle-tattle, a cry-baby, a provoker. Even if I did do it, there's not a person on earth who would think I was culpable. I was 7, for God's sake. 1. Casey. What a morning! What a strange and wonderful morning! It had started so badly when I woke up early after a fitful night's sleep, feeling fat and ugly as I stared into the mottled bathroom mirror, almost beside myself with stomach pains. My eyes were puffier than usual and bloodshot, and in the dawn light of the tiny room I actually wondered if I was getting a moustache. But that low feeling is now a distant memory, because the bright and magnificent thing that happened next quite banished it to the shadows. I suppose I'm lucky living on this street, unexceptional as it is, in that the post arrives early each day. Not like at home, my old home, where the post didn't come until well after midday, and the postman was a grumpy old woman with a crew cut and too many earrings. Postwoman, I should say. Or is it post-person these days? I don't know. These things change so often it's almost impossible to keep up. I only learned last year that it's no longer considered acceptable to use the expression coloured, but apparently that one's been non-PC for years. I count my blessings for the television and the internet, which educate me in these things, or else I'd be getting it wrong all over the place. Can you imagine how mortifying it would be to be caught out like that, to be accused of being a racist simply by not keeping up to date, for not knowing because nobody told you and you didn't happen to read about it, and it never occurred to you that these things might change while you weren't paying attention? Not that I mix with a great variety of people these days, despite the fact that London is quite the cosmopolitan city. I don't mean that I choose not to mix with them. It's just that I don't mix with any people very much. Not since my teens, anyway. Oh, but now that I think of it, there's a chap behind the counter at the local post office, who I would guess must be Indian or Pakistan.